That's kind of funny, folks. That's our interview show music, as opposed to Rhythm and Lows episode 10 with Jeff Berlin and myself, Dan Shinder, and probably some of my dogs barking in the background. But my office door is closed. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Right.
Jeff, how's it going?
I'm wonderful. Everything is actually 10 seconds. I have new management.
That's great.
I changed publicists. I'm engaged in new directions and new things because being in the music industry, if things don't move forward, you have to sometimes do things to help them along.
Adapt, yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I have my new record sitting in the can, discussing it with a record label, a very good one. 10 seconds. I won't share the name, but it's a couple of guys that made a ton of money in the private sector and love music and want to invest in guys like me. So
that's great.
Let's, one-handed drum roll, seeing how.
Pow! Awesome. Cool. I got dogs barking outside, 2 dogs growling in here. It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
All right. So, Jeff, why don't you go first and introduce the bass and drums, the Rhythm and Lows team that you want to discuss, and then I'll play the clip when you say it's time to play the clip.
Bravo. Well, my Rhythm and Lows is this time. They're always easy for me to single out something that's I think would be interesting to people. This time it was a no-brainer. I instantly happened upon a little clip offered by the late, great Rocco Prestia, where he was doing a video demonstrating his particular approach to bass, had his great colleague, David Garibaldi, playing drums. Yep. I don't remember who the guitarist was, but he was urgent. He was perfect for this band. So nice. They had Mick Gillette on sax, who I always admired. I always admired Mick Gillette. He's simply an R&B standard for me. Yeah. So anyway, Rocco, of course, did that yappa tappa 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 thing. And to give a 10-second chat about him, he was in a class in high school with Emilio. Emilio, the head of Mimi, the head of the Tower of Power.
Right.
And Rocco, I don't believe, ever played an instrument, but when they became friends, he said, "You want to play guitar?" He says, "Yeah, I'll play guitar," but he couldn't play it. So somehow he switched to bass, and a remarkable natural occurrence took place.
Wow. That's interesting.
It's total. Yeah, it is. It's a fascinating thing. He's the perfect example of self-taught philosophy, and Emilio Castillo saw something in him. And hold on, I'm turning down my phone because
if it's for me, I'm not here.
And he just sort of created and it became a thing. I mean, it influenced a lot of bass players. The great Jocko heard him early on as well.
Right.
And Rocco is the poster child for the brilliant self-taught bassist. So you'll notice in this clip the remarkable sense of time, because I always say that time, it's not 10 seconds, because this is important, because I'm online a lot. A lot of people say, well, I'm the drummer, I lead the time. And other guys go, well, you got to follow the drummer. And that is a principle that is not true. You don't follow the drummer. The band agrees on the quarter note, and together they create something.
Yeah.
So following the drummer is a bit of a misnomer. Listen to this clip and listen to the guitar, because his time is necessary. That's why I use the word urgent in the band picture. And listen to the time of the tenor sax. Everybody agrees. And that's what great rhythm section's about. Listen to Rocco and Dave.
That's cool. Check this out, folks. Sounds amazing indeed. Yeah, that was great. Just thumping along. I love his staccato style. It sounds so cool. And it makes the time show through even more. There's less margin for error, if you will, when he plays like that. And it keeps everybody on point.
Well, that's an interesting thought. I would hope that people that notice this, because I do this, that's how my ear works. If you listen to Mick Gillette, see, he heard the quarter note like that.
Yeah.
Air Balding, he heard the quarter note like that. I don't know the guitarist, but he is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
He heard the quarter note like that. Rocco, see, this is a brilliant example of four guys that hear the quarter note the same way organically. And it might put to bed that silly notion that the drummer is in charge at the time, because he's not. The drummer is.
Yeah, if he's wrong, you don't follow the drummer.
Well, it's a funny thing you should mention that too, because there is an odd conflation of. Can I do this? Is this?
Yeah, of course.
Online, people say, well, I hear in my band, my bass player's all over the place. I have to be in time. That's what the drummer says. Sometimes the bass player writes, my drummer, he's all over the place. I have to be in time for the band. And the ironic thing is they both use metronomes. It's a standardized tool, people like to refer to it. And most everybody uses one. And yet people are still complaining about their colleagues all the time. It's not a rare thing. Well, he's at a time, he's at a time. The fact is that time comes from integral playing, getting together, playing, rehearsing, working it out, playing, rehearsing, working it out. And that was an example, I think, of that. It was a stunning thing where four guys, and the sax player too, if he was off, it would have instantly.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing would have fallen apart. Yeah.
Everybody had to hear it the same way. So that was what my drum bass example. They both hear 16th notes the same.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I chose mine because a lot of times, and it's subjective, of course, but a lot of people say that there's little to no groove in most metal music out there. And this song that I'm going to play is one of my most favorite, if not my favorite, Iron Maiden song. And it's a very old song from when their second drummer, their first drummer was Doug Sampson. Well, he was actually their second drummer technically, because they had a drummer before that from 75 to 77, then Doug Sampson, and they did the record deal and all that. But then Clive Burr, the late Clive Burr, joined, and they did this album. This is Paul Di'Anno on vocals, long before Bruce Dickinson. And to me, this song has groove. And Steve Harris, the bass player, and Clive Burr, I love this song so much so that this was one of, not this clip, but this year or a year later, I think, this clip's from 81, the year I graduated high school. I think I saw them the following year. Well, I saw them many times, but one of the times I saw them, it was one of two concerts in my whole life I ever got to late. And I don't mean real late, but I mean like the first song was either starting before I got in my seat, or in the case of Genesis, once I heard them start when I was still outside Dodger Stadium, I was like, I was so mad at myself because the person I was going with was late. I'm never late. But
I'm never late.
This was at the Long Beach Sports Arena. They were opening for the Scorpions, and we were in the lobby still, and I heard them crack into this song. I was like, come on, we got to go. Literally ran to my seat because this was the song I would have been waiting for, and they opened with it, and I missed the very beginning. But I dig how the bass and drums groove on this song. Here's a little bit of Rothschild with Iron Maiden, Steve Harris on bass, Clive Burr on drums.
1, 2, 3, 4.
To see, even disagree, dominance and persecution. My brother was a queen that I never seen, I was never meant to be. But now I spend my time looking all around.
just love that bass riff and how the drums are just treading along like a machine. And gosh, I'm looking at them going, gosh, I'm old enough definitely to be their father at this age compared to how old they were then. It's weird seeing them like that so long ago. Like I said, 1981, forever ago. But I just dig that bass line, and they still break that song out many years later. It's been a fan favorite throughout their catalog. And then, of course, a year, maybe it was 3 years later, we get Bruce Dickinson on vocals and Nico McBrain on drums, who was with them until 2000. Was it 5? No, last year, December 2004 was when he stopped playing with them on tour. Now he's still going to do some studio work with them. In fact, he's going to be our fan Q&A guest on Saturday the 15th. And what's funny is that I was texting with him, congratulating him on finishing his live life with Iron Maiden, if you will, not realizing it was the day of his very last show in Brazil. He's like, yeah, thanks a lot, Dan. I can't talk right now. It's real noisy around me, but we'll talk soon. And then I realized later, oh my gosh, wait, he's in Brazil at his last gig, and I'm bothering him right before they go on stage. It was kind of funny. But I dig that bass line. There's just something about that to me has groove.
The groove is mandatory.
Yeah.
If these guys didn't provide what they provide, they wouldn't be who they are. And groove is just mandatory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. It's so minimally required in the sense it's to play in time, to play a groove. It's so basic. It's almost like if I said, hey, Dan, when you drive today to go to the store, make sure you don't hit a tree.
Right.
And you're going to go, exactly. Yeah, I honestly don't need that kind of, advice.
Right.
So what you heard and what I heard actually was a band and a drum rhythm section, bass rhythm section that hear the quarter note. I mean, it's almost basic math 101, and they did it excellently.
Yeah. And I think that it's not to me, it's not a given that there's groove. It's not enough to play in time for there to be groove, if that makes sense. To me, the groove is another layer of feel. And an example would be, I watch a fair amount of drumline stuff, the Blue Devils and, things like that. And I wasn't in marching band. I tried it. And after about a month, I told my parents, this isn't for me. I'm not digging this. And they were kind of surprised, like, really? But I watched some drumline stuff, and man, there is absolutely some groove in a lot of the routines and the different things that they do, but not all of them. They can all play in great time, but the groove is a whole level of feel that gets added to it. And I think that when you can claim that a drum line playing by itself without the rest of the marching band has groove, that says a lot for the part that is written for them, and of course how they're playing it, if that makes sense.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you define groove?
That's so hard for me to define. I think the foundation of it, of course, is playing in time. The intangible part is what I have a hard time articulating. I think it's what physically moves me. And that doesn't always come with something just being in time. Sometimes it could be tied to the melody. It's certainly the rhythm has to have groove, but I think it's something beyond playing in time. And it's really hard for me to articulate. I had this conversation with Carmine Appice years and years ago, the first time I interviewed him on the show. And I asked him, I said, can groove be taught? And he believes it cannot be, because groove is a feel. It's not just playing time. He says, I watch drummers and I think you either have it or you don't. I don't know how to teach it, but I can identify whether or not someone has it. And I don't agree or disagree with that. I found that observation very interesting, if that makes sense.
It sure does.
Yeah, I don't know how to articulate it. What about you? Like, what is groove to you?
Well, I think groove is rhythmic subdivision in a nutshell. And this is why, because if you hear a band that plays that doesn't agree, kind of the loose sort of thing,
Yeah.
I know the Stones will be the first mention because they're occasionally, in different places. The groove is the group package that the Stones provides. It's that vibe. It's that manner of interaction that they have come to arrive to. But groove is essentially.
That's a great example, by the way.
Well, it's an example of guys that decided to do their own thing along with other guys. And they produced a sound, and that sound is the groove. The Beatles produced the sound. The groove, to me, is essentially what is produced in rhythm and time. That's really all a groove is. And now people often say, well, I didn't dig that groove, or I don't dig that band. Well, I don't dig, spaghetti al horno, I mean, the taste that one may have regarding the feeling of music, that they're positive or negative about it, doesn't invalidate the groove. Because here's an interesting thing. Everybody that ever plays live means it. That is, I've heard he plays, I know a guy, here's the myth. And it is a myth. I've heard 1,000 guys that can play 1,000,000 notes and they have no feel. And that's a general internet nonsensical thing.
Yeah.
People don't play 1,000 notes and don't do it with feel. People play 1,000 notes and have total feeling. Why? Because they're playing what they feel.
Yeah.
Is what they feel. So the thing is that we, the listener, may or may not subscribe to the feeling that we have. So I always put that one to bed. Groove is essentially a subdivision, and this is a general overview of 4/4 or 3/4 or some such a thing, or a shuffle 6/8, in that kind of thing. That's what a groove is. It's rhythmic subdivision.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I don't know why I do, but I let it get under my skin when someone says that band sucks, or that song sucks, or she sucks, or he sucks. There is no sucking or not. It's whether or not you like it. You used food as an example. It's the same thing. Pizza doesn't suck just because you don't like it. Pizza's pizza.
I know a pizza joint down the street, and they're the worst. I wouldn't go there. I'm in New York or something.
Yeah, Enja, I'm sure would agree.
Well, you're right about that. Interestingly, personally, I never refer to a band and its art. Right. And I will agree that there are players and groups that have not yet risen to the place where they play what is, let's say, required. What's required in every band, exceptions aside, the zappas and the odd separation of time and the varieties of rhythm. What every band requires, and everybody plays, is to hear like I said earlier about Rocco and David Garibaldi, is to hear the quarter note the same way. And the Stones do, and they're rock and roll trash. It's loose, but they hear it the same way. So,
and that's their feel, and that's their groove, the way they present that.
Exactly. And I never refer to anybody. It's funny about that because I don't agree with academic slap. I think it's a detriment to people. I think they're paying for nonsense. But I think slap is a valid technique, and people ought to pursue it just like all their teachers did by being self-taught. So the art that one chooses, that pursue it and play it and be what you are. And as you go, you'll improve. There's some early, go ahead.
I was going to say, people just should not criticize something just because it's not within their taste, just because they don't like it. But instead, people have this defense mechanism by saying that sucks, or they suck, or he sucks, or she sucks. Oh, yeah. That setup sucks. The color of that bass sucks. What? It is what it is. It doesn't suck, nor is it great. It's how you perceive it.
I get a good dose of this because I'm sort of straightforward in trying to elevate people's thinking in the bass community regarding how to play better, and which includes things you don't want to follow and also things you do. And so people who might not answer these questions directly sort of go after me as the messenger of it. And this is when I come to the conclusion that people aren't thinking. They're responding, and it's emotional. I'm the only voice of reason I'm not better than anybody, but I'm the only voice of reason out there who will tell people how to improve and what to avoid and what not. But it sort of goes hand in hand, because I know that I'm doing well. And if people will see me as a critic or negatively, but still say that this guy sucks and that guy sucks, it's not supporting the claim of an honest assessment or something done with thought or kindness. Even there's a lot of non-kindness. Right. So nobody sucks. I mean, there are people that don't know how to play well. They should practice. The whole thing.
I need to practice more. In fact, I'm going to make an announcement here that I haven't made yet. So I haven't been playing live on the internet in my studio on Drum Talk TV for quite a while because I've had some technical issues. But watch this. Let me grab this. I finally got a new camera. And thanks to Lou Calderola, who I do the show with on Drum Talk TV, Under the Influence. That's when we smoke a lot of weed, we drink. No, I'm kidding. We talk about our influences. He presented a video of him playing, and it was like the sound was so much. I'm like, what'd you do? It's a Zoom QN2. I got one. I can't wait to set it up this weekend. I'm going to do an unboxing. Watch out, folks, because I'm going to start playing live, like probably way more frequently than people will want to watch me. But these things are great. They're not expensive, and I'm super excited about it.
Congratulations. Can I make a quick announcement?
Yeah, please.
You know, in my process of musical improvement, maybe you see all this music.
Yeah.
I sometimes write down notes that are occasionally wrong. So I invested in a bottle of Whiteout, and I am making headway and fixing. And this is like right there. This is Walgreens Whiteout, because I like it better than Eckerd's Drugs Whiteout. I don't know why. And
but
so
wait,
that's what I invested in.
But wait, when did you get it? And is there any left?
There is. I got it yesterday, and there's none left. That shows you that I am not quite the transcriber that I thought I was.
Man, I used to be able to transcribe drum set notation as quick as I could hear it. But because I haven't read music in so long, because I haven't written music in so long, it's like any other language. You speak Spanish, I speak Spanish. If you don't use it, it's like you got to tune back into that frequency, and it takes time. It takes me forever to write. It takes me so long to write something out now that I don't even do it.
Right. No, it's a hard ongoing task. And you're right about Spanish for my case. I use it every single day with my wife. It's a joy. Can I share a joke in Spanish?
Sure.
And this is only for people that speak Spanish. You'll get the joke. Mi esposo me dijo que my wife's on. Mi doctor me dijo que tuve 6 meses para vivir. Y cuando le dije que no podría pagar su cuenta, me dio 6 meses más. Now, Latin people are laughing. Spanish-speaking people.
Steve, probably. You know, Steve's mother's from Mexico. I'm sure he's laughing.
Would Steve understand this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Steve, chime in the comments.
The joke was, it's an old Henny Youngman joke. My doctor gave me 6 months to live, and when I told him I couldn't pay his bill, he gave me another 6 months.
I got like half of that because I'm out of practice. That's hilarious. That Henny Youngman is funny in any language.
In any language.
It's about the story, just like music. It's either the story either resonates with you or it doesn't. The sound either resonates with you or it doesn't. The groove either resonates with you or it doesn't. You either hear that it's there or you don't.
Mi esposo me dijo que para su vacación quiso ir a un lugar que nunca ha ido en toda su vida. Le dije, vaya a la cocina.
I think Steve just took his dog for a walk.
Oh, he did?
No, I'm teasing.
That one, and this is the last one I'll do. My wife said that for our vacation, she wanted to go someplace she's never been before. I said, try the kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah.
All right. But it's in Spanish. I mean,
wait, I hope Gabby's not watching.
Oh, she rolls her eyes because when I go to Latin countries, I sort of told the same 3 or 4 jokes over and over and over and over. And over. You know, 11 years later, mi esposo me dijo, and Gabby's like, oh, God, here he goes.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Great. Folks, chime in the comments if you're watching on the archive. We'd love to know your thoughts on groove. How do you define it? And what bass and drums team do you feel has your favorite, not the best, but your favorite groove? Oh, that's another thing, Jeff. When people say, who's the best this? Who's the best that? There is no best. It's who you like the best.
Yeah.
People
Well,
learn their language.
People go physically to war in soccer over who's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty ugly. I mean, it's our human emotion. There is a best. Duran was the best. Ali was the best. The Argentinian football team, they are the best. But I mean, that's a fact. Nobody beats them so far. But you know how it is. This is the best bass player. Although I do agree, Jaco Pastorius was the best and most influential bassist of any era.
Really?
I do. Everything changed because of him. And quite frankly, although I have mentioned educational elements, I think Victor Wooten is one of the most astonishing bass players that ever lived. What he did as a solo, what does as a solo bassist, is simply transformative. I don't know anybody with that unbelievable brilliance. So
wow, interesting. So let me ask you this before we go.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite bass player of the double bass, the stand-up era, the old school jazz, like of the 40s, 50s, or even 60s? Do you have a favorite of that era and that genre that played stand-up bass like nobody's business?
Yeah, I do. These two guys reflect my own curiosity as an electric bassist. Well, one, I love the marching, the ding, dong, 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 you know. So of course we must include Ray Brown.
Yeah.
Because it is an astonishing internal clock the man had. But for the sake of the inspirationally, I would call them innovative and totally different. First would be Scott LaFaro, the late Scott LaFaro, who kind of innovated a whole new principle of upright bass by not merely playing quarter notes, but melodies interspersed and counterpoint lines. But interestingly for me, even the greatest arbiter of that style, the greatest player of that style, for me, hands down, is Eddie Gomez. When I hear Eddie Gomez and saw videos of him as a young man and into middle life and the things that he did, Eddie Gomez is a bass giant.
Wow, I got to go listen. I haven't heard him in a long time.
With Bill Evans, he should be.
Bill Evans.
They should levitate him to the highest level of bass legend, Eddie Gomez.
Interesting. Well, there you go, folks. Some new stuff to go listen to and groove on.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. You can catch Jeff and I once a month here on Rhythm and Lows to talk about our favorite and people we admire who play drums and bass, Rhythm and Lows. There you go. Thanks everybody for watching, whether you watched live on Facebook and YouTube or whether you're seeing us on the archive, and chime in with your favorites. Thanks everybody. Thanks, Jeff.